If you were a man in the 70s and your shirt was not unbuttoned at least halfway down your chest, then you weren't that stylish. In 1975, he marketed pet rocks at $1.5 million, and then the fad died.
Is crazy. I don't even think that's adjusted for inflation.
Tons of guys gave these to their girlfriends to help cut out the guesswork.
They'll still be wanting you to guess what is on their mind these days. To this day, Gen Z girls are the same. If you can't read their minds, it's a long day. Alright guys, your fellow Gen Z Brit, born in the 2000s, very curious man. Today I'm going to be checking out funny things about the 1970s that we all experienced. Well, I didn't experience obviously, but you guys who probably watch this may have. This is from Recipe of History channel. So of course guys, if you don't know about this guy who does a lot of these nostalgic kind of compilations, then check his channel out, man. This video will be linked in the description, man. He does so many videos that I've checked out from him. Yeah, so it's good, and it's been a great insight for me as well to kind of see what kind of you guys got up to. Because I got a very curious mind, and I'm always asking my parents questions like what life was like. I feel like as I'm getting older now, like I feel like more of this conviction to kind of figure out how things worked. Like when I was young, all I cared about was my games, but as I'm getting older and I'm seeing the way the world works, like wait a second, I wonder what life was like before, if this is what life was like for me now. But yesterday I just checked out Prince's Purple Rain movie, so if you guys want to see that and more, it will be all going on the Patreon. Guys, I'm telling you, it's kicking off there, so if you haven't got in already, and I've got more coming, so make sure you got on over there if you haven't already. But guys, look, with that being said, let's get straight into this video. Let's go.
The 1970s was an incredible decade to experience. Cars were solid pieces of steel.
Yeah, those cars
Music was actually made with instruments. Cartoons were great. Toys were cool. And socializing was done in person.
Yeah.
This was a time when you knew all your neighbors and you could easily run next door for a cup of sugar if you were out.
Complete opposite.
I guess you could say that people were living life at its fullest.
Yeah.
However, the decade certainly wasn't without some unique and challenging things. In this video, we'll have a look back on some funny things that we all experienced in the 1970s.
Bro, I'm curious, man. What are these funny things, man?
In the 70s, people decided to have a strange pet, all thanks to a man named Gary Dahl. In 1975, he marketed pet rocks as the perfect pet and sold them for $4 each.
Guys.
During the next 2 years, he made $1.5 million, and then the fad died.
$1.5 million is crazy. And listen, that's not even, I don't even think that's adjusted for inflation. Yeah, because $1.5 million off of a pet rock is insanely wild. Look, I came across this before, and a lot of you guys have said this like a running joke. But come on. Like, how big is this? Like a meme that just got too big and it just ended up being funny? Because the fact that that actually was a thing is still shocking to me, to be honest. Especially when a lot of you guys actually went outside and could have got a rock from one of your bike ride journeys that you would have gotten along the way. So. So the fact that this was a thing is actually jokes to me, bro.
Made $1.5 million, and then the fad died. Maybe people finally realized that they could just be found on the ground and they were just wasting money. Sure, these lovable pets did not need to be bathed, and they certainly were not going to pee in your house, but they could not provide the same amount of affection that a dog or cat could.
I can't lie, this guy is a legend. This guy's actually a legend for getting away with the pet rock business idea. And fair enough. I don't know how he marketed it, but however he did, it's genius. It's genius.
But they could not provide the same amount of affection that a dog or cat could.
I can imagine.
The 1970s gave us a lot of clothing fabric options, and yet we still chose polyester. Sure, it maybe felt a little cooler, but looking back, it didn't look so cool. Remember the polyester suits? They were multifunctional and got you ready for work, family reunions, and the discotheque. Of course, you were also going to need a super huge butterfly collar shirt to go along with it.
I've seen those. Do you know what? I've seen so many people rock these in the 1970s vlogs that I've checked out. Look, guys, I'm doing this like nostalgic vlog playlist, and some of you guys haven't seen that before. I recently did a video checking out like high school in 1977, and everyone was literally rocking these fits, these collars, these designs. It was mad. If you haven't seen that video, I'll try and link it in the description if I can remember.
Perhaps we wanted our rooms to look like science laboratories in the 1970s, or we just enjoyed spacing out a little. Either way, lava lamps were super popular. There's no doubt that there is something fascinating and relaxing when you watch the colored floating globs of lava.
That's
We spent
1970.
hours just gazing at it as it was making various shapes.
Yo, even to this day, lava, I still see that. So the fact that that's probably one of the few inventions that to this day, like I'm still seeing. I should get a lava lamp. I should get one of those.
Mood rings were another far-out item that many people had in the 70s.
Not the mood
They
ring.
were filled with thermotropic liquid crystals, and the color would change based on the temperature. Tons of guys gave these to their girlfriends to help cut out the guesswork. If the ring was blue, then it meant that...
Yo, wait, this comment is funny. This comment is actually funny. He said that tons of guys gave it to their girlfriends to cut out the guesswork. Cause they... Do you know what? I think if there's anything that is to do with... that hasn't changed with going back into the time, I feel like the dynamic between men and women has probably been the same since the beginning of time. Girls still be wanting you to guess what is on their mind these days. To this day, Gen Z girls are the same, man.
color
if
would
you can't
change
read their
based on the
minds,
temperature.
It's a long
Tons
day.
of guys gave these to their girlfriends to help cut out the guesswork.
That's actually hilarious.
If the ring was blue, then it meant that she was in a good mood. And if it was violet, then it meant that she was excited. It
reckon
wasn't
it
really
even
all
was.
that accurate, but we sure hoped that it was. Since we are all missing these mood rings in our lives, I guess I have no idea how I feel about it.
Good one, good one, good one.
Stainless steel appliances that we see in the home today may look sleek, but they lack a little bit of style and personality. Every home in the
that's true.
70s either had avocado green, harvest gold, copper tone, almond, or mustard yellow appliances in the kitchen.
Man, not today.
These were considered earth tones, and they were also pretty popular throughout the rest of the home.
Okay, all of this makes sense considering, like, if you look at the context of how you guys went out a lot. Like, I can imagine getting that earth, like that natural earthly, feeling inside of your home could resonated probably further. Obviously, now I'm used to very much simplistic, simple, colorless things, so I can see how this is very much would have been common. And especially, like, I've seen some houses had fireplaces indoors, which is something that I've not experienced, but that looks cool. But I guess maybe reinforcing this kind of element of nature that seems to stick a lot more of people or you guys that would have been growing up during this period, which is interesting to think
Considered
about.
earth tones, and they were
'Cause now
also pretty
it's
popular throughout the
opposite.
rest of the home. Even the toilets in the bathroom were hardly ever just white. They came in an
Wow.
assortment of colors like pink, blue, yellow, and green.
Yeah, that's cool.
If
That's
you
cool.
did happen to have a white toilet, then I'm sure that you had the color carpeted lid and tank cover.
What?
And who could ever forget about the colored toilet paper to match?
There's so much
Thankfully,
color.
that one never came in the copper tone brown.
Oh,
Shag carpets in the 70s
Yeah.
were something that most people wanted, and
Shag
really these
carpet.
were probably the very definition of luxury. They were
okay.
super plush to lay on, and you could even make shag angels in them.
Shag
The downside
angels.
of these shag carpets
What?
was how difficult they were to maintain and keep clean. We were constantly raking and vacuuming this carpet just to keep it looking good. Never mind the fact that something like an earring could be lost in it forever. After a while,
Wow,
this
yeah,
carpet
that's
became a
true.
pain in the butt, especially when some gum or some cigarette burns found their way in it.
Ooh, Yeah. Yeah, and I know you guys are smoking a lot back in the day, so, them cigarette burns would definitely be getting in there, and just some gum, some hubba bubba, from what I've seen. I don't know if that rings a bell, but do you know what? I only just realized that is what that was downstairs in my living room. That's a shag. That's what they call those carpets. This whole time, my Gen X mom had this whole time, and I only just realized what the name of that was. Isn't it funny how things are coming full circle, guys? I'm telling you, this journey of curiosity is crazy right now. Like, I'm looking at the world differently.
Especially when some gum or some cigarette burns found their way in it.
Shout out to the shag carpet, man.
Macrame was everywhere in the 70s home. A lot of women learned how to make hanging plant holders, pillow covers, drink coasters, and of course the ever-popular owl that everyone seemed to have in their living room. These handcrafted works of art can now be found in many antique stores, although I'm not quite sure if anyone is buying them.
Yeah, not anymore.
At some point, I'm sure that this will come back around, but so far I haven't seen anyone with it.
Maybe that might make a comeback, because some of these things kind of go full circle. You never know.
The first episode of Saturday Night Live premiered on October 11th, 1975, and it quickly became popular. Some of those early comedy rebels were John Belushi, Bill Murray, and Gilda Radner, just to name a few.
I only recognize this guy's face. Who are these other
75,
people?
And it quickly became popular. Some of those early comedy rebels were John.
Yeah, this I think this black guy here, he looks familiar. Everyone else, don't think I've ever seen before. I'm just gonna say that. Why is my computer bugging? Like, whoa! I just wanted to zoom in. Like, whoa. But yeah, I look at wow. Okay.
And it quickly became popular. Some of those early comedy rebels were John Belushi, Bill Murray, and Gilda Radner, just to name a few. Part of the fun of this show was watching it live and then reciting some of the sketches with your coworkers the following week around the water cooler or coffee pot.
Right.
Today, this show is still live on the air, but many people have the ability to watch it later on different streaming services like YouTube. Of course, I'll let you be the judge of whether or not it has the same sort of comedy level or star power.
Oh, that's a question. Yeah, I didn't realize SNL's been around for time. That's what you said, 1975 or something. That's a long time ago they've been running. That's 50 years next year, no?
If you were a man in the 70s and your shirt was not unbuttoned at least halfway down your chest, then you weren't that stylish. Of course, you weren't extra sexy and cool if you had some chest hair to show off to the ladies.
I don't know who that is.
Nowadays, most young men shave their chest, wax it, or get laser hair removal done.
Right.
And I do wonder if this trend will ever come back into style.
Wait. So that was like what was attractive back in... I know, okay, no wonder why I keep seeing chest hair. I'm thinking there has to have been something back, because that's not something that I'm used to. Like, if you have chest hair now, I don't think Gen Z is going to be rocking chest hair in their mid to late 20s. I'm saying, or early 30s. I feel like that's something that is changing a bit. But then again, I feel like the kind of look has changed. Like nowadays, it's a more feminized look. I think back then, people were looking, especially men, were looking way more masculine. That's something I've also noticed. I wonder what you guys think about that kind of stuff and your opinions on that. I was gonna say ops, but you guys don't understand UK British slang like that. I was gonna say ops. You wouldn't have understood that.
Sexy and cool if you had some chest hair to show off to the ladies. Nowadays, most young men shave their chest, wax it, or get laser hair removal done. But I do wonder if this trend will ever come back into style.
I wonder that. I don't think it will, I'll be honest.
The 1970s gave us a lot of great music to listen to, from country, pop, soul, and rock. But one genre that dominated the clubs and airwaves was disco.
Yeah.
Even bands that did not play disco, like the Rolling Stones and Kiss, felt that they should produce a disco song so that people would buy their records.
Wow.
Funny thing is, Kiss's disco song became one of their most popular, and it was also the one that Gene Simmons hated the most. But this new genre of music didn't last too long.
Really?
On July 12, 1979, a Chicago DJ detonated a dumpster full of disco records during a White Sox baseball game, and then a riot followed.
What?
This disco demolition kick-started a decline in the music, which continued into the 80s.
Why?
However, disco lived on in some European markets.
Wait, what? Wait, I love disco. Even I wasn't even born during these times. From the videos I've seen out of luck, you're telling me someone did a whole, bomb it, like exploding whatever, did CDs, and then that sparked riots, which led to the decline. How though? I thought people would have still. I would assume people would have still enjoyed disco after that. Like, how can that be the downfall of disco? No way.
However, disco lived on in some European markets.
But it wasn't like before.
With all of that disco around, there had to be a popular dance, right? Well, the bump was an iconic dance which involved smashing your hips into your partners while rhythmically twisting from one side to the other.
Oh, that's what
People practiced this until their hips were bruised. The hustle was another popular disco dance, but no bruising was involved.
What's that, hustle?
On December 23, 1975, U.S. President Gerald Ford signed the Metric Conversion Act, which officially declared the metric system to be the new preferred system of measurement. However, most of the U.S. declined to implement it. Now we are forever stuck converting miles into kilometers.
Because I know we have stuff in kilometers, kg, grams, degrees Celsius, So I don't know if we're the ones with the metric one, but whichever one it is, I feel like in the US you guys do miles more and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get.
They're forever stuck converting miles into kilometers.
Okay.
In 1973, tennis had a match that came to be known as the Battle of the Sexes.
Really?
A lot of people tuned in to see who was the best, men or women. In the end, it was a 29-year-old woman named Billie Jean King who beat out the 59-year-old man, Bobby Riggs.
59. Why is there such an age gap, though? Wait, what is that battle? What?
In the end, it was a 29-year-old woman named Billie Jean King who beat out the 59-year-old man, Bobby Riggs.
That doesn't make any sense. Why are they playing...
In 1977,
please someone explain that to me. Battle of the Sexes. Why is there Battle of the Sexes? Why are men versus women? And even then, why is the age gap like that crazy? What is that?
In 1977, Jim Fixx wrote the best-selling book, The Complete Book of Running. His goal was to explain the benefits of running and to show how it could solve all your health problems, which was the key to longevity.
He's onto something.
Ironically, Jim died of a heart attack at the age of 52 in the early 80s.
That is ironic.
But he did succeed in opening up a nationwide conversation about running, health, and life expectancy.
Right. Shout out to him, because I know from what I've seen, cereals back then, all sugar, just invested with sugar.
Remember the Pinto in the 1970s? It certainly was not the best looking car that Ford ever produced. However, its looks were not the worst part.
That's what it's called.
If it got rear-ended in the right spot, it could instantly burst into flames, and that was a real problem. There were 27 Pinto-related deaths, but people bought them anyways. I guess you could say that they were a hot item.
Oh, stop it.
The oil shortages of the
And I've seen quite a few of those cars as well from these logs that I checked out. So I didn't realize they could just blow up like that or set on fire.
Hot item. The oil shortages of the 1970s hit people pretty hard at times. And to make matters even worse, most of the vehicles people had were gas-guzzling cars.
Ooh.
The gas stations had to ration fuel, and lines to fill up were all the way down the road, and people had to wait in line forever, it seemed. Some stations posted color-coded flags outside. Green indicated that they still had gas, while red alerted customers that they were completely out.
Wow.
Others posted signs saying that they were out, or how much gas you could actually get. It was not a pleasant time.
Yeah, that doesn't look good, man.
Kids today have a whole plethora of ways to entertain themselves while in the car on road trips.
Yup.
But in the 70s, kids had to find ways of entertaining themselves by playing car or road games or just staring out the window of the back seat. Usually, parents could only stand them singing or pestering their siblings for so long. If they kept acting up, then they might hear, "Don't make me stop this car," or "Do you want me to turn this car around?" Many kids wanted the second option because the first one was not going to be fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine a car ride without my phone. That's like torture. Actually, it depends on how long the car ride is, okay? So like I can go like probably max 30 minutes without my phone before I'm checking for it. Unless the conversation is juicy, then maybe I can go on for longer. But the phone, if the drive is like 2 hours plus and I don't have a phone, oh, that's torture.
The 70s loved their bikes, and it brought a sense of freedom that they couldn't get anywhere else. It was not uncommon to see kids on them every single day, and especially so if the weather was nice. But kids were rough on these bicycles, and eventually parts broke on them. The chain guard seemed to be one of the first ones to go, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was. You see, everyone in the 70s was wearing bell-bottoms or flared leg jeans.
Right.
These would frequently get caught in the chain and then disrupt your pedaling or even tear holes in your jeans.
Ooh.
Kids today have no idea about the frustration with bell-bottoms and a bicycle.
No, I have no idea. But you know what? I hear it. Is that I can see that happening. Those bell-bottom jeans and there's are long, and the flared-out jeans or whatever you call them. I'm butchering the name. These are falling off. But wow, yeah, that's dangerous. Even you could injure yourself seriously with that kind of stuff, man. If it gets caught. Let me know if you guys have any crazy stories of that, man. I'll be interested.
In the 70s, life was completely different than anything that people experience today. None of us had our heads buried inside of our phones or on laptops. Sure, we watched had our heads buried inside of our phones or on laptops. Sure, we watched television, but we also enjoyed being outside and spending time with friends and family. Even though the decade had some quirky things that we were all guilty of doing, it was still a great decade to be alive in.
From what I've heard, man.
What are some other funny or quirky things about the 1970s? Do you have any experiences unique to the decade? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, guys. And look, man, let me know as well, man, because I would love to know what some quirky, some interesting stories. I mean, these are funny things. And maybe let's share some of your funniest memories that you can remember from the 1970s, from those of you guys that experienced this. But yeah, again, a very interesting time period. Like, things are starting to make a little bit more sense the more I'm doing these deep dives. I still can't get over the fact of just how different things are. Like, I think not a single thing in this video I can say is something that I can personally relate to at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everything has changed. From the style, from the hair, from what you guys did for fun, from everything, man. Yeah, and it's mad, man. I wonder what it'd be like if... I wonder what I would have been doing if I was born in 1970s. I'll be curious to see what you guys would predict someone like myself. So, like, what group would I have been in? Like, what would I have been getting myself up to? I'm curious to see if you guys want to answer that question, what you guys would have to say about that. But guys, look, if you made this point, comment on a yellow heart so I know who my real ones are, who didn't just click off the video as soon as it ended. I love you guys watching all the way through and supporting me on this journey. Of course, more videos like this will be found in a playlist at the end of the video. And of course, guys, look, I hope to see you guys again. I'm the boy JayFlex. This has been me checking out funny things about 1970s that you guys all experienced. And for those of you guys who made this point, you guys have been absolutely wonderful. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.